I have seen many things in my life, some good, some bad, but one truth never changes. Time does not wait for anyone. And when you reach 70, you start to feel in your bones the aches, the stiffness, that sudden fear when you step off a curb and wonder if your legs will hold up. I know this feeling well. I have lived it, and I want to tell you something important. It is never too late to protect your bones, not just for yourself, but for the people who love you. Because when you are weak, they worry. And when you fall, they hurt just as much as you do. I remember the first time I felt it, that sharp pain in my hip when I tried to stand up too quickly. I brushed it off, thinking it was just another part of aging. But then came the stiffness in my back, the creaking in my knees, the fear of slipping in the shower. It was not just pain. It was a reminder that my body was changing, that I was not as strong as I once was. And that scared me, not because I was afraid of pain. I have dealt with that all my life, but because I was afraid of becoming a burden, of losing my independence, of one day needing help just to do the things I once did without thinking. So I made a decision. I was not going to sit around and let my bones break down. I was going to fight back. I was going to do everything I could to stay strong. And I want to share what I learned with you, because I know what it feels like to watch your body change. I know what it feels like to worry about falling. And I know how powerful it is when you take control and start protecting yourself. The first thing I learned was that your bones are alive. They're not just hard pieces of your body. They're constantly breaking down and rebuilding. And as you get older, the rebuilding slows down. If you do nothing, your bones will get weaker. And when they get weaker, they can break. A simple trip on the sidewalk can turn into months in a hospital bed. I have seen it happen, and I do not want it to happen to you. So what do? You move. I know it sounds simple, maybe even obvious, but movement is the key. If you sit all day, your bones get lazy. They stop rebuilding as fast. But if you walk, if you stretch, if you lift something heavier than your coffee cup, your bones wake up. They get stronger. They remember their purpose. I started by walking, just around my house at first, then around the block, then a little farther each day. I felt silly at first, but then I started feeling stronger. My legs felt more solid. My balance improved, and I stopped feeling so afraid. Then I started lifting things. Nothing crazy, just small weights, bags of groceries, even my own body weight by standing up from a chair without using my hands. I felt my muscles working. And when your muscles are strong, they protect your bones. They keep you steady. They stop you from falling in the first place. But movement alone is not enough. Your bones need the right fuel. I grew up in a time when people did not think much about vitamins. We just ate what we had. But I learned that calcium and vitamin D are not just words on a bottle. They are what keep your bones from crumbling. I started drinking more milk, eating more leafy greens, sitting in the sun for a few minutes every day. And when my doctor told me I needed more, I started taking supplements. Because I was not going to let something as simple as a vitamin deficiency take me down. And then there was protein. No one told me how important protein was for bones. I always thought it was just for muscles. But your bones are made of protein too. If you do not eat enough, your bones get weak. So I made sure to eat eggs, chicken, beans, whatever I could to give my body what it needed. Because I was not going to let my bones break without a fight. But there was something else. Something I never thought about until it was almost too late. Balance. Not just physical balance, but the balance in my daily habits. I used to stand up too fast. I used to carry too many things at once. I used to walk in dim lighting because I thought I did not need to turn on another light. And then I tripped one day. My foot caught on a rug. I was lucky. I caught myself before I hit the ground. But I knew then that luck would not always be on my side. So I made changes. I got rid of loose rugs. I put brighter light bulbs in my home. I made sure my shoes had good support. And I stopped rushing. Because nothing is more important than staying on your feet. I also started doing exercises for balance. Standing on one foot while holding onto a chair. Walking in a straight line. Simple things. But they made a difference. I felt steadier. More in control. And then there was the hardest part. The part no one wants to talk about. Fear. The fear of getting older. The fear of falling. The fear of losing control. I have seen too many people let that fear stop them from living. They stop going out. They stop trying new things. They start believing that their best days are behind them. And that fear weakens you more than anything else. So I made a choice. I was not going to live in fear. I was not going to sit in a chair all day just because I was afraid of falling. I was going to move. I was going to eat right. I was going to do everything in my power to stay strong. And when I did, something amazing happened. I started feeling younger. Not in years, but in strength. In confidence. In the way I carry myself. I know it is not easy. I know there are days when you just want to sit and rest. And that is okay. But do not let one day turn into a week. Do not let a week turn into a month. Every day is a chance to fight for your bones. Every step you take, every healthy meal you eat, every time you choose to stand tall instead of slouching in a chair. It all adds up. And I will tell you this. The best way to protect your bones after 70 is not some secret trick. It is not something only doctors know. It is simple. You move. You eat right. You stay aware. And most importantly, you refuse to let fear control your life. Because you are not just protecting your bones. You are protecting your freedom, your independence, your ability to wake up every morning and do the things you love. So do not wait for pain to remind you. Do not wait for a fall to wake you up. Start now. Move today. Eat well today. Stand tall today. Because every little thing you do adds up. And when you look back years from now, you will be grateful that you did not give up. That you fought for yourself. That you protected your bones. Because in the end, it is not just about bones. It is about living life on your terms. And that is something worth fighting for. Now, let's clear some common questions. What role does hydration play in bone health? And how much water should you be drinking daily? I have learned many things in my years. Some the easy way, some the hard way. But if there is one thing I wish I had understood sooner, it is the power of water. People talk about food. They talk about exercise. They talk about vitamins and minerals. But not enough people talk about hydration. And let me tell you something. Your bones need water just as much as the rest of your body. Maybe even more. I used to think drinking water was just about staying cool on a hot day or keeping my mouth from feeling dry. But the older I got, the more I started to feel the effects of not drinking enough. The stiffness in my joints, the aches in my back, that deep tiredness that no amount of sleep could fix. I thought it was just part of aging, but then I learned the truth. My bones were crying out for water, and I had not been listening. Most people do not realize this, but your bones are not just hard, lifeless structures inside your body. They are alive. They are constantly breaking down and rebuilding, and they're made up of a lot more water than you might think. When you do not drink enough, your bones lose some of that moisture. And when they lose moisture, they lose strength. Imagine a sponge that is dried out. It becomes brittle. It cracks under pressure. That is what happens to your bones when you are dehydrated. I remember the day I truly understood this. I was helping my neighbor lift a small table. Nothing too heavy. Nothing I had not done before. But as I straightened up, I felt something sharp in my lower back. Like a deep, twisting pain. It stopped me in my tracks. I went to the doctor, expecting him to tell me I had pulled a muscle. But he surprised me. He asked me how much water I had been drinking. I shrugged and said, "Enough, I guess." He shook his head. "Not enough," he said. "Your bones are suffering for it." That stuck with me, because I had never once thought about water and bones together. But when I started looking into it, everything made sense. Water helps transport calcium and other minerals to your bones. It keeps the cartilage in your joints soft and flexible. It helps your body flush out waste that could otherwise weaken your bones. And when you're dehydrated, everything slows down. Your body holds on to toxins. Your joints stiffen. Your bones become more fragile. After that conversation with my doctor, I made a simple decision. I was going to drink more water. Not just when I was thirsty. Not just when I remembered. But every single day. And let me tell you something. It made a difference. It did not happen overnight. But little by little, I started to feel better. The stiffness in my back eased up. My knees felt stronger. Even my energy levels improved. It was like my body had been running on empty, and I had finally given it what it needed. Now, the question I always hear is, how much water should you drink? And let me be honest with you. There is no magic number that works for everyone. Some people say 8 glasses a day. Some say more. Some say less. But I will tell you what worked for me. I started by paying attention. Really paying attention. I noticed how often I felt thirsty. How my body felt in the morning. How my energy levels changed throughout the day. And I started drinking water before I ever felt thirsty. For me, drinking a full glass of water when I woke up made a big difference. It was like giving my body a fresh start every morning. Then I made sure to drink water with every meal. Not just coffee, not just tea, but water. And I carried a bottle with me whenever I left the house. Because I realized something important. When you wait until you are thirsty, you're already behind. I also started eating more foods with water in them. Because believe it or not, what you eat can help keep you hydrated too. Fruits, vegetables, soups, they all add to your daily water intake. And when you combine that with drinking enough, your body starts to work the way it was meant to. Your joints feel smoother. Your bones feel stronger. And you do not feel as tired all the time. One of the most surprising things I learned was that dehydration can actually increase your risk of falling. And that is something no one over 70 can afford to ignore. When you do not drink enough, your blood pressure can drop. Your muscles can cramp. Your balance can get worse. And all of that makes it easier to take a bad step. I have seen it happen to friends. I have heard the stories of people who fell and never fully recovered. And if something as simple as drinking water can help keep me steady on my feet, you better believe I'm going to do it. Now, I know what some people might be thinking, but I do not want to be running to the bathroom all day. And I get it. Nobody wants to feel like they have to go every 5 minutes. But let me tell you something. That small inconvenience is nothing compared to the pain of brittle bones, of aching joints, of a body that does not work the way it should. And if you spread your water intake throughout the day, your body gets better at handling it. You do not just flush it all out. You actually absorb what you need. The way I see it, drinking enough water is one of the easiest things you can do to protect your bones. It does not cost much. It does not require any fancy equipment. And it does not take extra time out of your day. It is just a simple habit, a choice you make every morning, and every time you pick up a glass. So if you're reading this and wondering if you're drinking enough water, let me tell you something. You probably are not, and that is okay, because now you know. Now you can start paying attention. Start making a change. It does not have to be drastic. Just start by adding one more glass a day, then another, and see how you feel, because your bones are counting on you. They're working hard every single day to keep you moving, to keep you strong, to keep you living your life the way you want to. And the least you can do is give them what they need. So drink your water, stay steady on your feet, and never forget, the smallest choices you make today can shape the years ahead. And you deserve to be strong for as long as possible. Can meditation or breathing exercises help with bone strength and balance? And if so, how? I never used to believe in meditation. Breathing exercises sounded like something people did when they had too much time on their hands. I was a man who believed in movement, in lifting things, in getting up and doing what needed to be done. But as the years passed, my body started to feel different. My balance was not what it used to be. I would stand up too quickly and feel lightheaded. My legs would feel shaky on uneven ground. And deep down, I knew what that meant. One wrong step could change everything. I had seen it happen to friends. One small fall leading to months in a hospital bed. A broken hip, a fractured wrist, a slow, painful recovery that never quite brought them back to the way they were before. I did not want that to be me. So I started paying attention, looking for anything that could keep me strong. And that is when I heard about meditation and breathing exercises. I did not believe it at first. How could sitting still and breathing deeply do anything for my bones? It sounded too simple, too easy. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized I had been missing something important. Bones are not just about strength. They're about stability, balance, the ability to move without hesitation. And what I had never considered before was that the mind plays a bigger role in all of this than I ever imagined. When your mind is calm, your body moves with more confidence. When your breath is steady, your muscles respond better. And when you are aware of your movements, You are less likely to make a mistake that leads to a fall. I remember the first time I really tried it. I sat in my chair, feet flat on the floor, and just focused on my breath. In through my nose, out through my mouth. Slow, steady. At first, I felt ridiculous. I was used to doing things, not just sitting there. But after a few minutes, something changed. My shoulders relaxed. The tightness in my lower back eased up. My mind, which was always racing with thoughts about what I needed to do next, started to quiet down. And when I finally stood up, I felt different, more grounded, more sure of my footing. That was when I realized this was not just some idea people talked about. It was real, and it had power. The more I practiced, the more I noticed how much my breath controlled my body. When I was tense, my breathing was shallow, quick, but when I took deep breaths, my whole body felt more stable. My muscles loosened, my movements became smoother, and when I combined that with slow, controlled motions, I found that my balance improved. I started adding simple breathing exercises to my daily routine. Before I got out of bed in the morning, I would take a few slow breaths, filling my lungs completely, holding for a moment, then letting it out slowly. It made a difference in how I felt when I stood up. No more dizzy moments. No more feeling like I had to grab onto something right away. And throughout the day, whenever I felt tension creeping in, I would stop for just a few seconds and breathe deeply. It was like hitting a reset button for my body. Then I started adding gentle movements while focusing on my breath. I would stand with my feet hip-width apart, take a deep breath in, and as I exhaled, I would slowly shift my weight from one foot to the other. It was a small movement, something I never would have thought twice about when I was younger. But now I felt every shift, every little adjustment my body made to keep me steady. And over time, I noticed something incredible. My balance improved. I was not as wobbly when I walked. I felt more in control when I reached for something on a high shelf. And that fear of falling, it started to fade. What surprised me even more was how meditation itself affected my bones. Stress is something most people ignore. They think it is just part of life. But stress does real damage to the body. When you are constantly tense, constantly worried, your body produces stress hormones that can actually weaken your bones over time. I never knew that before, but once I did, it made perfect sense. When I was stressed, my body felt tight. My joints ached more. My back felt stiff. But when I meditated, even for just a few minutes a day, all of that started to change. Meditation helped me sleep better too. And sleep is when the body repairs itself. When I was not sleeping well, my bones were not getting the chance to rebuild the way they should. But after a few weeks of regular meditation, I found that I was sleeping deeper, waking up feeling more rested. And I knew that meant my body was doing the work it needed to stay strong. Now, I will not tell you that meditation and breathing exercises are a magic cure. You still have to move. You still have to eat right. But what I will tell you is that they're a powerful tool, one that too many people ignore. Because strength is not just about lifting weights. It is about control, awareness, confidence in your movements. And that is exactly what meditation and breathing give you. So if you're someone who has been feeling unsteady, if you have noticed that your balance is not what it used to be, or if you just want to do everything you can to keep your bones strong, do not ignore this. Take a few minutes each day to focus on your breath, to quiet your mind, to move with intention. It costs nothing. It requires no special equipment, but can make all the difference. I wish I had started sooner. I wish I had known how much my mind and breath could influence my body. But I'm grateful that I learned when I did, because now I feel steadier, stronger, more in control of my movements. And at this stage in life, that is worth more than anything. So take a deep breath, feel your feet on the ground, and know that every moment of awareness you create today is a step toward a stronger, more stable tomorrow. What is one thing you can start doing today that will make the biggest difference in protecting your bones for the years to come? If I had to choose just one thing you could start doing today that would make the biggest difference in protecting your bones for the years to come, I would tell you this. Get up and move. Right now. Do not wait. Do not put it off until tomorrow. Stand up. Walk around. Stretch your legs. Because movement is life, And the moment you stop moving, your bones start to weaken. I have seen it happen to too many people. Strong, capable men and women who spent their lives active, only to slow down in their later years. And once they slowed down, everything changed. Their muscles weakened. Their balance got worse. Their bones became fragile. And before they knew it, they were facing a fracture that could have been prevented. I remember the day I realized just how important movement was. It was after an old friend of mine, a man who had always been full of life, took a bad fall. He had been spending more time sitting, watching television, taking it easy. He said he was tired, said he had earned the right to rest. And then one day, he tripped over a rug in his living room, broke his hip, and that was it. He never fully recovered. The man who used to walk with purpose now struggled to take a few steps, and it broke my heart to see it. That was when I made a promise to myself. I was not going to let that happen to me. I was going to keep moving no matter what. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they have to do something extreme to protect their bones. They think they need a fancy gym membership, heavy weights, complicated exercise routines. But the truth is, the simplest movements are the most powerful. Walking, stretching, standing up from a chair without using your hands, balancing on one foot while you brush your teeth. Every little movement adds up, and the more you move, the stronger your bones stay. I started making small changes. Instead of sitting for long periods, I got up every hour and walked around the house. Instead of taking the easy way, I made sure to do things that kept me active. Carrying groceries, taking the stairs, standing while I talked on the phone. And little by little, I noticed a difference. My legs felt stronger. My balance improved. And that stiffness I used to feel in the morning started to fade. The key is to make movement a habit. Not something you do once in a while, but something that is part of your daily life. Because when you stop moving, your body starts working against you. Your bones lose density. Your muscles shrink. Your joints stiffen. And before you know it, the things you used to do without thinking become difficult. That is why you have to move now. Not next week. Not next month. Now, weight-bearing exercises are especially important. That does not mean lifting heavy weights. It means putting just enough stress on your bones to keep them strong. Walking, climbing stairs, carrying a bag of groceries, even standing on your tiptoes for a few seconds. These small actions tell your body, hey, I still need strong bones. And your body listens. It keeps producing the cells that rebuild your bones. It keeps your muscles engaged, and it keeps you steady on your feet. Balance exercises are just as important, because strong bones mean nothing if you take a bad fall. I started doing simple things, standing on one foot for a few seconds, walking heel to toe in a straight line, slowly lifting one leg while holding onto a chair for support. These tiny movements train your body to stay stable, to react quickly when you step on uneven ground, to catch yourself before a stumble turns into a fall. I will tell you another thing. Moving does more than just strengthen your bones. It keeps your heart strong. It keeps your mind sharp. It keeps you feeling alive. I have noticed that on days when I move more, I sleep better. I have more energy. I feel lighter, not just in my body, but in my spirit. And that is something no pill or supplement can give you. I know some people will say, but I have arthritis. My knees hurt. My back aches. And I get it. I have my share of aches and pains too. But I have learned that not moving only makes it worse. The less you move, the stiffer you get, the more pain you feel. But when you push through, when you keep those joints active, the pain does not control you. You take control of it. It does not matter how old you are. It does not matter if you have never exercised before. You can start today. You can start right now. Take a walk around your living room. Stretch your arms over your head. Stand up and sit back down a few times. Just do something, and then do a little more tomorrow. Because every step you take is a step toward a stronger, more independent life. I have met too many people who wish they had started sooner, who look back and realize that all those years of sitting took a toll they cannot undo. Do not be one of them. Protect your bones now. Keep them strong by using them. Move every day, even when you do not feel like it, especially when you do not feel like it, because movement is the closest thing we have to a fountain of youth. And the best time to start is right now. If you like today's discussion, Don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with every video we release. And yes, don't forget to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Every comment is special to us. Your feedback helps us improve further. We'll continue to meet you in every new video on this channel. So until next time, take care.